Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to your March connection session. I am Princess India. If you're new and if you're family, welcome back, my friend, and whatnot, or whatever. So, anywho, we're going to jump into you guys' cards. We're going to be looking at you as well as a person of interest and the energy between the two of you. And then we're getting into a more specific spread where we're going to be looking at how your person of interest thinks and feels about ya and whatnot, or whatever. So, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm waiting for these cards to come out. Okay, I'm going to take that one. Okay, all three of those. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to go ahead and pull the cards for the second spread as well for continuity. All right, let's see here and here. All right, so first card out representing my Capricorns. Oh, we have the Star in the reverse, and that's Aquarius energy. So, you know, if you got Aquarius in your chart or your person is an Aquarius, check out Aquarius's reading. But anywho, with the Star in the reverse, it's more or less like losing hope, Capricorn. And it could be in reference to this partnership, more or less. It's kind of feeling out of alignment. It could very well be that, it could be in reference to just your personal life or this connection at large. It's more or less just being out of alignment with yourself. So more or less like where it is that you are in your life right now, it isn't a true, honest reflection of your soul's urge, if you will. And just a little tidbit that, a little homework for you. Look at your numerology and find out what your soul urge number is. If you don't know how to calculate it or you don't know it offhand, it's not your life path number. Your life path number is, from your birthday and all of that. But you can download a numerology app and plug in all of your birthday information and find it out. But a quick, easy way to kind of get insight into this is, finding out what your soul urge number is and reading about that soul urge and just kind of looking at your life and seeing if where it is that you are at present or what it is that you're doing with your life, if that is in alignment with your soul's urge. But whether it's this relationship or it's just in general, the reason why things would be seeming a little bleak, why you would feel a tad stagnant in life, why you may, potentially feel like you're not seeing your future clearly, or, you're not really knowing where to go, or you're settling for less than you particularly deserve, whatever the case. It could be a myriad of different things. But all of that is coming from the fact that when we're in alignment with, our true calling or our soul's urge. Oh my goodness, wait, someone's at my door. One moment. Hold on. Wait, hold on, Kevin. Was a delivery. Don't know why they didn't ring the doorbell, but anyway. So whenever we're doing things that aren't in alignment with that, it those emotions and feelings. The audacity. Okay, I think we're back now. Okay. I told myself that whenever I see that I freeze, that I'm just not going to talk so we don't miss anything. But whenever you're not in alignment with, where your soul is wanting to go, that's like these feelings are the byproduct of the deeper problem of being out of alignment with yourself. But like I said, this very much can also be in relation to this particular connection, because it's more or less picking life circumstances, careers, jobs, friends, romantic partners that aren't like we're picking them from the false self and not from the authentic self. You know what I'm saying? And when those things start to pile up in our life, it stagnates the energy and prevents us to be able to see anything farther than our present circumstance. Now, your person of interest. Okay. First thing I heard, we had the Five of Wands in the reverse. First thing I heard is infighting. So with your person of interest, it's more or less they're going through a silent battle within themselves. What I feel most specifically with this, let me move my microphone closer. What I feel most specifically in reference to this, Cappy, is that where it is, it's kind of very reminiscent of you a little bit. It's not as deep. It's not so much like a soul thing, but they're not really standing in their power. So they're showing up as like a false version of themselves, if you will. Um and kind of how can I say this? It's a disempowered state, but mm, I don't know how to say this in words. It's not codependency. I mean, they could be codependent, but it's kind of like them always being dominated in life. And then this would go as far back as like, childhood to friendships to relationships they've been in. Like they've never really been the leader of things. They've always very much been a follower. But the thing with this person is like they're called to be a leader. Like they're supposed to be, the one calling the shots or state like nah, I can't freaking talk. Or setting rather like the energy signature, being like an influential person, and not necessarily like in the context of them being like a public figure or anything, but where they're assigned in their particular realm of reality, it's a certain vibration. I don't know how Capricorn your reading is going like this, but I'm just go with it. It's a bunch of woke Capricorns that this is for. Okay. So they're supposed to be at a specific energy signature, and them seeding this energy signature. For some of you, I know this may sound crazy, but this is what we're all secretly doing. But they're supposed to be at this certain vibrational frequency and seeding this energy signature where they are to influence people in their immediate surroundings, right? But it's like the trials and tribulations they've been through in life have been them, coming into situations where there's opposition, to where there's like, I don't know why I want to say it like this, but like a false prophet kind of figure. So let's say your person of interest is like they're, coded to be prophet, proverbially speaking, but they always, encountered false prophets on their path, right? And they always end up being, it sounds like human design. Like those of you who are familiar with human design, like you have manifestors and you have generators. And the reason why there's not a lot of manifestors that are born right now is because in history past, manifestors always made generators subservient to them. So they would like siphon their energy and kind of put them under their thumb in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So taking their creative ideas and, manifesting them themselves or whatever. So, manifestors started kind of dying out because they were screwing up the whole, ecosystem of energy signatures. But this feels to me like what your person has gone through. And I say that slightly to teach you a little bit about what's happening out here in these ethereal streets. And on the other side of that, for resonance. So you would know if this is your person of interest. So they've had a history of where they had a domineering parent or parents. They were always a follower in their friend groups. When it came to relationships, they always had a tendency to date people who were very domineering. And they kind of really didn't have a say, and the other person really controlled the relationship. It's kind of beat them down to this place to where they're not living up to their true potential. And there's a conflict, like a war going on inside of this person. And I'm saying this because this is just what I'm picking up intuitively. I don't believe this person at all is even aware that any of this is happening. But it's similar to what my Capricorns are going through, in the sense that their soul is crying out, wanting to be in, to show up in the way that they were designed to show up. But they've almost allowed their life circumstances to beat them into submission, if you will. And now, like, what they've been beaten into is how it is that they're showing up to the rest of the world, if that's making sense. You know what I'm saying? So there's a war going on inside of them. They're not really understanding or sure of what it is that's happening. It's just almost like this indifference, and how this could manifest as this person, being a bully, them being domineering, them being very snappy, them complaining about people on their job and like how unfair it is. And it's just like, oh, because, the boss loves them. And, I worked really hard on that project and they just overlooked that, but they, just beefed up what such and such did. You know what I'm saying? So it's them being kind of like a whiny baby. I hate to say it that way, but I'm sorry. But I feel all of that is coming from all of this inherent stuff that's going on with them. And I would even go as far as to say, Capricorn, truth be told, even though if I were to say energy signature wise, when it comes to someone who's called according to their purpose, I would say Capricorn is the one who's called according to their purpose, meaning that you have like a high calling on your life type of deal. Not to say that this person doesn't have a calling, but I feel the reason why it's showing up like this difference is not because Capricorn is better. I don't believe anyone is better than anyone else. It's just when it comes to spiritual awareness, Capricorn is more spiritually in tuned and aware than this person. So it's like Capricorn is like a spiritual teenager, young adult, you know what I'm saying? And your person of interest is like a spiritual babe. You feel what I'm saying? So, to whom much is given, much is required. Spirit isn't requiring too much from them because they ain't, they ain't there yet. You feel what I'm saying? But I feel what attracted you to this person is because they're mirroring the same energy signature that you may or may not be aware of that you're in. You feel what I'm saying? Like you're not living up to your full potential. There's a part of you that's still proverbially wearing the mask of your false self or the coat of your false self, if you will. And you're still kind of fraternizing with stuff over there. But there's, huge parts of your true essence that are poking out. But I feel because, there is that 1 foot in, 1 foot out energy, you were attracted to this person's 1 foot in, 1 foot out energy, if that's making sense. I hope and pray that that's making sense. This feels like a whole word for somebody out there, child. Anywho, the energy between the two of you, not surprising. We have, let me move my face. We have the 4 of coins between you. So literally, both of you are holding back. I talked about this a little bit in Aquarius, where I was talking about the Likert scale and extremism. Um, there's a little bit of hoarding energy between the two of you. I say that individually. I don't necessarily feel it is necessarily hoarding your house, but I feel like it's energetic hoarding, where both of you are hoarding experiences that you have had, much like I described for your person of interest. As both of you are very much on guard and very self-protective towards each other, because you're literally trying to grasp hold and protect that essence. And that essence, like I said before, that I'm speaking to is the soul essence. So I feel Capricorn's more conscious of it, of you knowing the good things that you have within yourself, gifts, talents, whatever, just your sanity could be a thing. But it's you grasping hold to that and protecting that, because there's been people past tense that have misused you or taken advantage of you. And with your person of interest, so the same, but because there's so much self-protection, it's very difficult for, am I freezing? It's very difficult for the two of you to open up and be vulnerable. I think I'm frozen. Hold on. Unfreeze, son of a gun. Okay, I think I'm unfrozen. I said I was going to stop talking when I freeze so y'all can hear me. But I feel both of you are very self-protective, because past tense, both of you have had people that have come into your space that, like, if you were to look at it as like your precious gems, your inner precious gems, you've had people come into your life in the past that have, pillaged and squandered, your essence, right? So you've learned to kind of cover that up. And I think Capricorn, for you, that's the reason why you guys, got the coat or the mask on or whatever. So you've learned to kind of self-protect to prevent people from taking advantage of you, or in your person's situation of bullying you or dominating you. But the problem with that is it's not really possible for the two of you to really enmesh, or, I don't want to say enmesh. That is a horrible word. Not enmesh, but to like connect and open up or be vulnerable with each other, because it's a lot of fear here. And all of this fear is coming from past experiences. So both of you have been kind of beaten down, domineered, bullied by other people. And you're keeping yourself to yourself in fear of that, being taken advantage of by the other person. But it also leaves the two of you at an impasse. You know what I'm saying? the connection can't ever get any deeper than what it is right now. It's always going to be very superficial. You guys literally may want to watch Aquarius, because I said a lot of this in Aquarius. The connection would remain very superficial, because the fear would kind of be this bedrock that one would have to drill through in order to get to that emotionality. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like the two of you would be seeing each other as potentially turning into people who have, mistreated you in the past, in so many words. Now, getting into the cards for your person of interest, those of you who are not familiar with how it is that I do this, first we're looking at their fleeting thoughts, which is information they're kind of weighing in reference to you. Then we're looking at their conscious thoughts, which is what they're aware of, how it is that they perceive you consciously. Then we're looking at their subconscious impressions / projections. And that's something that's true about them that they are not aware of, but they are 9 times out of 10 projecting onto you. And lastly, their feelings towards you. So the first card out for your person of interest. Interesting. We have the Magician. Hopefully y'all can see that. Wait, hold on. There we go. The Magician. Then we have, interesting, the High Priestess. I'm kind of not surprised by that. That is Pisces energy, and the Magician is Aries energy. Next card that we have, interesting, is the Fool in the reverse. That's Aries energy again, and their conscious thoughts towards you. That's 3 major arcanas. That's insane. Wow, 4 major arcanas. We have the Justice card. Ooh, child. This is fascinating. So here's the thing. I don't know who y'all are, Capricorn. I don't know who y'all are. I don't know what y'all called to do, but it's something, child. Because, when you be called to do something, it just be bleeding out from everywhere. Everybody see it, smell it, taste it. It's like they gonna be something. Anyway, but with your person of interest, what it is that they're weighing in reference to you, I can tell you for sure, they see you in your full light and your full power. They see you as a heavy hitter. They see you as very talented. They see you as very self-assured. They see you as, almost having the world at your fingertips, like anything it is that you could want in this life. And I feel this is kind of coming from, of course, a place of insecurity with them, not very surprising, but it's almost a perception like, man, Capricorn could have anybody that they want. Like, why would they want me? Why would they be interested, in me, because I don't necessarily feel that it's almost like my guides just said ulterior motive. Well, damn. Okay. Shit. All right. Okay. All right then. So going with what it is I was just saying, your person of interest would feel like there's kind of like an ulterior motive, because it's the thought like, you're too good for me. Like, why are you, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you up to? Am I frozen? I think I'm frozen. Okay, I'm unfrozen. But like, why would really? I hate this rain. Just unfreeze. Jeez, come on. Come on. Good Lord. Okay. I stopped talking so y'all didn't miss anything, but it's more or less a perception of like, why would they be interested in me, and wondering like, what's the catch here? Like, is there some sort of ulterior motive as to why they're interested in me? Because they see you like on a pedestal in a sense, and feel like you can have whatever it is that you want. You know what I mean? You can manifest whatever you want. You could date whoever you want. Like, you could live wherever you want. They see you as a person who's very much in your power, aware of what it is that, and I don't want to say bring to the table because that's just been ruined, but aware of everything that you are, everything it is that you possess. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, with the High Priestess, and we can see this 2 ways. If your person knows a little bit about the woo-woo, they may be aware of, your gifts and, things of the sort. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm really feeling heavily with this is they feel that you're very secretive. You know what I'm saying? Like, almost mysterious, right? Like there's a huge, vast part of who you are, where you come from. It's a lot about you that they feel that you're not necessarily open about. And I do feel, in a sense, it's kind of difficult for them to kind of read you a bit. And looking at, like I was saying, in their fleeting thoughts, it's kind of like one half of it is they're this really dope person. Why are they interested in me? I can't really read them that well. So it's a thought of like, what are they up to? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the end goal with this? What are they wanting out of, spending time with me, hanging out with me, or what have you? In accordance with this Fool in the reverse as well, it's like it's almost a perception of maybe you're fooling with them because you want a good time and not a long time type of deal. Because if this person is like so empowered, so talented, they have all of this stuff going for them, the only thing I could really see of them being remotely interested in me is, that they're just, trying to have fun. Like they're just experiencing things and whatever. Like they couldn't possibly be taking me seriously. But when we come to this justice and their conscious thoughts, it's more or less, and I'm 100% sure, can't wait to turn over their subconscious impression. It's more or less they feel kind of judged by you, in a sense of almost like you're kind of, like taking a wait and see approach, like I'm kind of hanging out with you to have fun, but it's like I'm kind of weighing my options to see, like, is this going to be beneficial to me or not? Now, mind you, this is their thoughts toward you, not anything that says the truth about you. It's just how it is that they're perceiving it. And I feel it's really because with this high priestess being here, it's a great deal that they don't know. Like you're very difficult to read. They have their perception of you and they think about a person who's on that level. They don't have anything to really fill in the blanks with. So they're kind of filling in the blanks themselves of like, they must just be trying to have fun with me. You know what I'm saying? And have like a little dalliance, little rendezvous, because I can't really see them wanting to take me, that seriously. Right. And then coming back to this Four of Coins that's between you, they don't know that you're holding back because of stuff it is that you've experienced past tense. The only thing that they're seeing is that you're holding back and they're trying to rationalize why exactly that is, right? Now, their subconscious impression. Oh, child. We got the Three of Cups in the reverse. So this is a sad little person. So, your person of interest is kind of like a lone ranger, right? I often say this. It's like, you know, I was in jail by myself, one pillowcase, ain't nobody write me, right? It's them more or less having this inherent belief of, that is the grossest face for me to be frozen at. Oh my God. The ugliest face for me to be frozen at. Okay, anyway. But it's almost this perception of them having to do everything alone. Like I've had to do everything by myself. Like if I want to get this done, I have to do it alone. Like no one cares about me more than I care about myself. And that's a lot of what adds to their self-protection. A lot of this came from what I was saying in the Five of Wands in the reverse, that they were kind of beaten down by people. So their perspective or belief really about life is anything that they want, anywhere that they have to go, they kind of have to pick themselves up by the bootstraps and do it on their own, because there really isn't going to be anyone there to support them, to uplift them, anything of the sort. You know what I'm saying? But where this becomes a downside is because, of course, they are not aware that they possess this inherent belief of I can't trust people, I can't rely on people, right? So they're projecting that out to the external world. So what that would look like with them projecting that on to you, that comes back to this high priestess. It comes back to this Fool in the reverse. if you are this person, right, and you are on this level, it's like you have an ulterior motive. You must want something from me. It couldn't possibly be that you just see me for who it is that I am and think that I'm a really dope person and want to connect with me. It's like there has to be some sort of ulterior motive. There has to be something that I have that you want. There has to be some way that you're trying to use me to, like, level up yourself, or, to fill your time just because you're bored. You know what I'm saying? They're not really seeing it from a place of just, true open heartedness, want to connect, want to have a partnership type of thing. But all of that comes from what it is that this person has transpired. So, I mean, think about it this way. Say hypothetically, if your person of interest is a dude and he had a shit mom, right? He had a mom who, uh, got his child support checks, from his dad, and the mom spent it on herself, right? Was never there for him, never showed up to his little league games, you know what I'm saying? And the only person that she cared about was herself. She disappeared for weekends, chasing men, leaving, poor little him, at home by himself, and it's like, they got hungry man's in the freezer. I'll be back on Monday, right? So this person ends up growing up, and, they had friends where the friends would, take advantage of him or whatever. And then he gets into a relationship and he ends up, marrying a woman who was just like his mom, because that's what people be doing when you don't process your trauma. And this woman domineered him the same way. It's like, now instead of mom taking child support checks, she's taking his actual paychecks and, going out with her friends, disappearing for a whole weekend. Don't be questioning me about where it is that I've been at, and da 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 da, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So it's the thought of people who are the closest to you, that are supposed to love you, care about you, people you're supposed to trust. All they do is take advantage of you. That's like the deep-seated belief with this Three of Cups. So all I have is me. So this person's thought of healing is going from one side of the Likert scale, right, of being open-hearted and stuff. Oh, that got me this. My mom screwed over me. My ex-wife screwed over me. Now I'm going to go to this side of the Likert scale, right? And now I'm going to be completely closed off. I'm not going to invest anything. I'm going to take a very wait and see, approach, because, people always want something. There's always going to be some ulterior motive that people have. You feel what I'm saying? So they're looking at you. I can't read you. I don't understand why somebody like you would want to deal with me. You know what I'm saying? So their thought is that's what your MO is, right? Now, they're not making this connection because, like I said, this is in their subconscious, right? They're not making this connection of the fact that they're projecting their ex and their mother onto you. But it's because, since there's a fill in the blank, it's something that they don't know. They're just going to fill it in with their own narrative of what it is from their past experience. And that's something that a lot of us do. Whenever we encounter a person or behaviors that we're not familiar with, that makes us feel unsettled. And the human brain is just designed, or has evolved to this point, however you want to look at it, has evolved to this point where, like, FOMO is literally the death of humanity. Like, we cannot stand mysteries or not knowing or semicolons, because it's like we want to put a period at the end of the sentence. We want the story to have an end. So our natural inclination is to fill in the blanks with whatever it is that we have in our consciousness, right? And for majority of humanity, all of us, the only thing that we can fill in the blanks with is our own past experience. You feel what I'm saying? And this person's past experience is this particular narrative. So if there's something about you, I don't understand why someone like that would be interested in someone like me. Or I don't feel like they're really open. They seem kind of closed off. They use their past narrative to explain why it is that you're behaving this particular way. So they feel a sense of peace. You feel what I'm saying? Now, their feelings towards you. Oh, child. This is the strangest card. This came up in the subconscious for Aquarius, this person. So if that's relevant for you guys, check it out. It's the Death card. So literally, dude, your person is terrified. right? In reference to you. And I mean, I could literally say it this way. They feel potentially that this connection with you could be the death of them, you know, because it feels to them almost like a sneak attack, right? Like, I don't like, I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't know what their intentions are. I don't know what their motives are. This could be completely, destructive to me potentially. But the thing that I'm seeing with this, what I feel is the truth. And like I said, Capricorn, I think you guys reading putting it in contrast to the 11 other signs, y'all's is like it's very spiritually laden, to where it's like how I feel like I'm reading it. I'm looking at your perspective and realm of reality. I'm looking at your person's perspective, their realm of reality. And then there's like the truth of what's really happening. So it's like what's happening devoid of, and I mean, the truth of what's happening is like what's really happening in real life. And we as human beings have our own perspectives and interpretations of what it is that's actually happening. The beauty of humanity is that none of us know what's actually happening. None of us do. You know what I'm saying? Because we're looking at it through our lens of, like I was saying, like our past and stuff. So what I'm seeing in the higher sense of things, the fear that this person has, it's like almost like a spiritual one, because I mean, and I'm just saying this for shits and giggles, not to put any pressure on anyone, or to say that this is something you should achieve to happen, because in reality, I need to come up with a name for this, because it goes back to Oedipus Rex, but not the Oedipus complex side of it. More or less the beginning of the story of Oedipus Rex, of speaking of how it is that, we manifest our own realities. Because in the story Oedipus Rex, really quick, in the very beginning, the king and the queen had their son. A prophet came to town and said, your son will grow up and unalive his father and marry his mother. That creeped out the king and queen. So they gave the baby to a servant, told the servant to go unalive the baby in the woods. Right? The servant felt guilty, bought, the baby to a neighboring town. The king and queen, raised the kid. Kid grows up, becomes big warrior, all the things. He starts conquering all of these kingdoms. In one particular kingdom, he was, titillated by the queen. He unalives the king, takes the queen of that kingdom as his wife. Prophet comes back to town and pretty much says, Oedipus, for you have unalived your father and married your mother. He gouges his eyes out, blah, blah, blah. Right? So that's the whole story. Now, the part of that story, and Freud's Oedipus complex comes from that story, but I'm not speaking about the Oedipus complex. I'm speaking more or less about the prophecy of the fact of, if the king and queen thought by sending the son away to be unalived, that would cause them to, divert or escape the prophecy that was spoken over their life. But in reality, them staying exactly where they were is what would have circumvented all of that. He would have never grown up and unalived his father and married his mother if he would have been raised by them, because then he would know his father was his father and his mother was his mother, which he didn't, because, and I mean, then we could look at the thing if the servant would have, but whatever. But the whole thing is like they stepped right into it. And why I'm saying with your person of interest, what I'm about to tell you, it would make no sense for you to step off of the path that you're on to try to make this happen. You feel what I'm saying? Because if you did, you would make it not happen. You feel what I'm saying? So the whole thing that I'm seeing in a spiritual sense with this death card is that this person is feeling this primordial fear, if you will, of you, and how they're making sense of it in their mind is like, what are they up to? Are they judging me? Are they like, is there an ulterior motive? Do they just want me for a fun time, not a long time? That's how they're making sense of it in their conscious mind. But this fear that they're feeling is because of who Capricorn is. Capricorn possesses the power to cause this person to almost go through a dark night of the soul, in a sense, to where you could be a transformative force in this person's life that would cause them to go through their awakening and realize who it is that they really are. So all the stuff I said about them in the beginning, they would see, oh my gosh, I've been downtrodden my entire life. You know what I'm saying? And I've let people beat me into submission. This isn't really who I am, right? This is something that would happen, in the process, not Capricorn coming in like, I am your lover and spiritual teacher, and this is how you need to transform your life, right? It doesn't look like that. It's like whenever we transform people's lives, like when I was talking about when you're 10 toes down in that energy signature that you're supposed to be emanating out into the world, it's like you affect people's lives and never even know. You know what I'm saying? How much it is that you've contributed to another person's life. You feel what I'm saying? But Capricorn, such of a thing, like there is the potential, right? The higher spiritual potential for something like this to happen. But the problem with this, and where I see that this is kind of like one of those things, I don't know, it's just life, it's how I be set up. It's like Capricorn isn't in their power though. You know what I'm saying? You still got the mask or the coat on. So that full transformation that would be possible, that can't really happen because Capricorn isn't yet in a place to where you're living in alignment fully with, your soul's urge, like I was saying in the beginning. So it's almost kind of like wires being crossed in a sense. It's like this person feels this fear, and it's more or less like the false self saying, like, I don't know about this person. They kind of spook me out a little bit. I don't really know what they're up to. I don't really trust them. That's the only way they can make sense of it. Capricorn has no idea any of this is happening, but that full on transformation can't happen, which would be death and rebirth, which is why this person's feelings towards you is like, Capricorn could be the death of me. You feel what I'm saying? Because they don't even have the conscious awareness to know that there's life after death, proverbially speaking. You know what I'm saying? Meaning if the false self dies away, that a new self is instantaneously born, phoenix rising from the ashes. They have no, what's the word I want to use? Frame of reference, right? They have no frame of reference for this, right? So the only thing they can interpret this by is their limited perspective, which is my past, which is, proverbially mom, ex-wife, took advantage of me and beat me into submission. So they can't see that there's anything else going on outside of that. You feel what I'm saying? But this isn't because, like, they're not stuck in this little thing that they're in because Capricorn is not yet aligned with their fullest self. This is just one of those casualties of this particular journey. So I say this to you guys more for your own personal development and less about this person, because like how I'm a requirement for Capricorn, like, am I frozen again? Good Lord. I hate this weather. Anyway, this is a unfreeze me, please. We're almost there. Hmm. Seriously. Am I unfrozen yet? Okay. So anyway, so this, you can freeze all it is you want. Really? Really? Okay. Seriously? The screen just went blank. But anyway, this isn't a message saying that you need to immediately align with your soul's urge to save this relationship, because if you try to immediately align with your soul urge for the purpose of saving a relationship, it doesn't work like that, because it's something that you grow into over time. You feel what I'm saying? And still, you are your own responsibility. This person is their own responsibility. So it's futile for any of us to try to like, ooh, let me hurry up and get in alignment. Like, that's like what I talked about in Sag's reading when I was talking about the whole twin flame debacle. It's like for you to think that you can fast track your evolution when you need time, experiences, people, situations, and circumstances from a myriad of different domains in your life. And you think that just with one human being, this one person can like target all these different facets of you, and you need to now fast track your growth and awareness, you know what I'm saying, to align with this person. That's asinine, because that's too much work on an individual. You know what I'm saying? I even say that from a therapeutic standpoint. If a person has decades of trauma that they've experienced, God forbid, short-term CBT is 12 sessions. God forbid you're supposed to unearth your childhood trauma in 12 sessions. That's not at all what short-term therapy is for. You know, long-term therapy is years. I do long-term therapy and short-term. At my job in the daytime, I do short-term. And at my private practice, I do long-term. So I see my clients for years. Like it's not possible to unearth trauma in 6 to 12 sessions. Like, we can do some behavior modification. We could teach you some skills to be able to cope with things better. But processing that, giving meaning to things, that takes years. You feel what I'm saying? So to be fair to yourself, don't try to force yourself through some type of dark night of the soul or awakening for the sake of this particular relationship. But I mean, that potential is there, but it's not just with this one person. There's probably countless people you've met in your life that the same thing has happened, you know? And depending on where it is that you are in your life at present, like I said, you chose this person from a lower part in yourself. And that's not necessarily, I mean, from what is looking like to me with Capricorn being called to be like to a higher order here, this isn't necessarily the type of person you'd want to necessarily fraternize with. You know what I'm saying? Like, an ideal partner for anyone would not be someone that you chose from your lower self, because then the relationship ends up being a parent-child dynamic, and that's not a healthy dynamic in, you know, a relationship, you know? So I think that this person, to be honest, Capricorn, is someone that's just passing through. You know what I'm saying? And it's a person who's passing through to more or less be a mirror to you, to give you a snapshot of where it is that you are at this present time. And in hopes of you kind of recognizing that, because like I said, the star and the reverse energy y'all are in, I feel it's bigger than this connection. It's like this person is like one part of the pie chart of the overall part of your life that you're not necessarily happy with. And it's coming back to a me thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it that I need to do to align? Like, and like I said, a tangible thing for y'all to look at, my soul urge. Like, what is it that I need to do to align with my soul urge? What do I need to change so that I'm more fulfilled as a person? So when it comes to my partner selection, I'm selecting people from the highest version of myself and not my lower self. You know what I'm saying? Like my trauma, my past experiences, and things of the sort, right? So I feel this is the big lesson for my Cappies. So I hope and pray that made sense, Capricorn, because this is interesting. This went a whole another way from everyone else. Like all the other signs, like it's just, you know, it's a couple of little spiritual things that came up here and there. I think the most compared to you guys would be Sag, but this really feels like a spiritual message for someone. I don't know who you are out there, Capricorn or cross watcher, but hi, I'm Princess India. Nice to meet you. Please like, share, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? But I feel this is a huge and it's weird. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why. I mean, I feel it in my spirit. It really feels like through you gallivanting through YouTube, looking at love tarot readings, it's almost like this is kind of like, you know, a hand coming through the screen, reaching out to you, telling you to kind of take your path a little more seriously, to take your life experience a little more seriously, and to really kind of take a step back and look at everything and see what shifts and changes it is that you can make to align with what it is that you're really here for, you know, because it's like a lot of decisions you've been making, things you've been fraternizing with, and things, people that you've been choosing have been reflections of a life that I think you're at the point that you want to kind of leave behind. So this is kind of, spirit sneaking through, trying to give you a little wake up call. You feel what I'm saying? So let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if this kind of touched your heart, or if you're like, God damn, this is for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely going to do um a gist on this for you guys. And if y'all don't know what that is, it's like a little printable journal that I do. It has like a recap of the reading, and I give you some journal prompts to kind of dig a little deeper. So I'll definitely do a gist for this, and it'll be available on my network, She Do Society. Join, it's free. It'll be available over there. And I'll probably put it up on my website too. But whenever I do these, like because I do them for like my weeklies and stuff like that on my network, and that's always accessible to them. But whenever I do them for my subbies, I'm always going to put a post up on, the community tab to let you know where to find it. So definitely keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I'm gonna do that for you guys so y'all can kind of dig a little deeper into this. But anywho, I love your face, Capricorn. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, I'll